Well, hello and welcome back to our second episode of Paradise Hills. This is Grizzly Bear Sims, Jerry here with you. As I had indicated yesterday, I had hoped to set up a sort of a massive harvest of this cornfield. Now, this is field number two. We don't technically own field number two just yet, but before we put the soil mod in, I wanted to harvest the fields that were actually planted. So the arrangement that we've made with the bank is that we are going to purchase this field at some point in time, but right now we're going to harvest the field so that we put this crop to good use. Now, what I have set up here is I have rented the Krone Big X. This is the default Krone that's in the game, as well as the default tractors that you see next to me, as well as there's two additional waiting in the wings to be called up as soon as this one is empty. What these tractors and tippers will do is once they have reached capacity, they will drive to the BGA empty and then return. And so we will just rinse and repeat. And I'm not going to do this entire segment on video for you. We'll do just a little bit. I'm going to talk to you about a few things that actually came up today with regards to news and such that's happening within the farming sim community. So let's just get this started here and we will start harvesting this corn and turn it into chaff. And by the way, I did remember what my key command was. That was Control W to turn the GPS mod on and off. I just had a completely I had a mind lapse for that this morning. So we will get the corn header loaded. We will get the combine fired up here. And then our tractor tipper will start driving. And what I'm hopeful is that the next time that tractor will come over on the right hand side for us, hopefully. As I said in episode number one, I do try very, very hard to simulate, real world realism. Realism through simulation is sort of my motto on my blog site. And so driving through crops is not something that we would do in real life, but sometimes it's hard to convince the system to do anything other than that. So just bear with and understand what's going on. But it's difficult to try to do these types of fields by yourself. Obviously, if I were playing this on multiplayer, I'd have a couple of guys logged into the server and we would knock this out pretty quick. Looks like maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I just did. I just noticed this setting here, driver's side left. Let's see what that does. Maybe if I do, he's going over there. Let me do driver's side right and see if he'll come around. Maybe I learned something. Let him catch up. And as I said, I'm using the default in-game Krone harvester. This is not there we go. I just learned something new. So yeah, you can, I thought that there must be a way that you could actually tell the driver which side to turn on. And there you can, it's right there, it's driver's side. So I'm not running the combine with course play. I have no course loaded, as you can see here, but I do have courses loaded for the 3 tractors and tippers. But I can call them up here if I need to. I can stop them, and obviously I can determine what side that they're going to come to the harvester on. So as I was saying, this is the in-game Krone, I think is how you pronounce that, Big X. This is not the modded one with the 80,000 or 100,000 capacity tank on it. I have used that one before, but it's not very realistic, and we do try to do everything as realistic as possible. So I rented 3 tractors and 3 tippers, sort of in the hopes that I would be able to keep them busy. In other words, that I would not have to wait for the guys to show up, that they would be able to run to the BGA, because the BGA is quite a ways away, unfortunately. So one might think that automatic would work, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't. Anyway, so what I'm attempting to try to do is, I said during episode 1 that I was actually recording episode 1 on the 27th of September, just for the purposes of being open and everything. Episode 2 is also being recorded on the 27th of September. In the evening of the 27th of September, and I'm sort of hoping that I can build up a little bit of a stockpile of episodes, because I do have a rather busy work schedule and everything, and hopefully I can release content and keep things going on a regular basis as much as possible. At least that is my goal. That's my goal with these videos. But today, on the 27th, if you were paying attention to the Farming Sim news, the happenings around the Farming Sim community, you may have noticed on the Cattle and Crops website, or actually on their Facebook page, that they did announce that some gameplay video would be made available this coming Friday. So that would be the 31st. I believe that would be the 31st of September. Let me just check the 30th of September. And that would be this Friday. So not sure what time. I don't even really know what time zone Cattle and Crops are sort of headquartered in, if you will. I sort of gathered from the timestamp on Facebook and the time of day that it was here in Denver, Colorado, that they might be somewhere in Europe, because the timestamp was about 6 hours old, and it was around, I don't know, 9:30 or so in the morning when I found out about it. And so that sort of leads me to believe that, well, they must be in the European time zone somewhere. I tell you what, my right foot is getting sore, so let me do myself a favor and put on cruise control. Okay, that's better. Anyway, that they will be releasing gameplay video this Friday, September the 30th, and they even put a countdown on their website. If you go to cattleandcrops.com, I think that's the URL, you'll see a countdown to that particular release event. Now, I don't know about you, but I have been somewhat concerned about Cattle and Crops, and sort of wondering if Cattle and Crops might just be some hoax, vaporware, something like that. Because let's face it, I mean, we heard a little bit from them in the say in the springtime, early summer, and then we really didn't hear anything from them until quite some time later. And they posted something on their Facebook page back on like the August the 26th or so, but that really didn't have much meat to it. But they've mostly been quiet. And the thing that somewhat surprises me about the fact that they have been a bit quiet is the fact that, well, Giants actually has not been quiet. If anything, Giants has been communicating quite well with their customer base, showing us all of the different new equipment and a little bit of gameplay footage, etc., with Farming Sim 17. So that's actually quite impressive. Let me just slow up and let this other guy come up on us here. Sort of thinking that maybe, just maybe, oops, they got a bit tangled up there. Not a problem, they're still tangled up. We're going to get out of their way. It's, hard help. It's hard to get good help these days. But anyway, I've been somewhat worried that maybe, just maybe, Cattle and Crops has been vaporware or a hoax or something of that nature. Because if I were running a business, if I were running, say a software business like, where is that guy going? If I were running a software business like Cattle and Crops, I would have been communicating as much as possible to try to convince some of those folks that might still be on the edge of their seat in not having yet made the decision to purchase Farming Sim 17. I would be wanting to maybe say to them, hey, why don't you delay your purchase? Check us out. Okay, I wish this guy would go, because I really need him to start his course. And it looks like that's what he's finally doing. Okay, again, good help is hard to get. So what do you think? I think the software industry is very competitive, and I know a little bit about the software industry. It's how I earn my living. I'm not a developer, but I work in the industry. I work in IT. I work for a large software database company, so I understand how things work. And I understand the need for secrecy. I understand the need for, not letting the big picture out just yet. But Giants has been communicating, quite effectively, as I said, and I think that Cattle and Crops has missed a huge opportunity to really ramp up their communication. According to their website, they are still saying that they are going to release in 2016. Well, we are almost to begin the final fourth quarter of the year. 90 days left. I think it'll be telling to see exactly what this gameplay content looks like. Because if it looks like it's not even ready for prime time, then it might be interesting to know, well, just how are they going to be ready to release sometime in the final quarter of the year if their gameplay content doesn't, look exactly how we think it should be, whatever. But again, I'm interested in what your opinion is. if, are you considering cattle and crops? Have you perhaps been holding out before you pre-ordered FS17 to see if cattle and crops was going to be a potential game changer? I mean, that's what they have said. All along, cattle and crops has said, we have been listening to the farming gaming community. We have been hearing what you have been saying as far as what has been lacking between FS13 to FS15, and is FS17 going to be thunder and lightning over 15? I don't think so. I think the jury is still out. I think that there will be some differences. There will be some good differences, but I think a lot of people really, really want better driving dynamics. They want to see tractor wheels fall into the plowed fields and such. I just don't know if we're going to see that, because I think that as far as FS15 to FS17, the way I understand it, the game engine is the same. So, I don't know. Maybe it's going to take a cattle and crops or a pure farming to basically make giants say, we've held the position of king of the farm simulators, and we need to listen to what our user base wants, and we need to try to give that to them. And as I think I was saying in the first episode, I was talking about the fact that maybe what they need to do is or maybe I think it was in one of my Twitch streams over the weekend, I was talking about the fact that maybe instead of giants coming out with FS19 in basically 2 years time, that they skip it, that they skip FS19 and either push it to 20 or even 21 and use that extra time to completely redevelop the game. Of course, I also somewhat question, why they're messing about with the whole iOS and Android game market. I've played those, and kept my attention for about 30 minutes, and then I'm like, no, I'm going to go back to my PC version. It's looking like maybe 2 tractors would have been enough, but I wanted to be on the safe side. I didn't want to have to try to. I didn't want to have to wait. I didn't want to have to spend my rental time with any of this equipment just basically standing by, and obviously that's what's happening with the tractors, but at least I will get the corn harvested in as quickly as a manner as possible, and then can get this starting to ferment and turning into silage, which obviously we will be selling that at the VGA. there's our wind turbine giving us $2,000 an hour of income. You know, again, as I said in the first episode, I could have sold that $160,000, but $2,000 an hour is not bad money. It's not a bad money stream either. And so this chaff, once it's fermented into silage, I will rent a wheel loader and a large bucket, and we will sell this at the BGA. And while I'll set up a course play route and sell the silage, and then do other things. You know, I still want to add soil mod, and soil mod will get added to this map just as soon as we get all the crops harvested. And we've only got, after the corn is done, we've got a field of sugar beets that we're going to harvest, and then we will install soil mod and then get started on it. And hopefully with the revenue that we make from the sale of the silage at the BGA, we'll be able to start buying a few of these smaller fields. Probably we'll focus on smaller fields, like for example, field number 7, field number maybe 8 or 21, kind of keep things somewhat centrally located as best as possible. What I like to do is I like to be able to farm, you know, do a task from start to finish within a given game session. So, you know, when I have time to come downstairs to my basement office and turn on my gaming computer, maybe I've got an hour and a half, maybe I've got 2 hours. I want to be able to, if I'm going to harvest, I like to be able to harvest everything within that block of time. I don't like having to, you know, basically stop the equipment, you know, save the game, shut the computer down with equipment out in the field, and then resume and wonder, okay, what do I got to do tomorrow, etc. I like to kind of have a clean, you know, clean break. Getting a little bit better with getting that driver, that tractor driver, to get on the correct side. And again, I didn't know that functionality existed. So you know, you really, when you're running course play, and obviously if you're doing something like a tractor tipper emptying a combine, or maybe you're doing a tractor and auger emptying the combine, I've used this section of course play to either stop a driver or to force the driver to go home, or maybe even sometimes to even call the driver if they're not approaching sort of on their own. But to be quite honest, I've never noticed that driver side feature there. Never noticed it. So I learned something new, and I've been using course play for, you know, a year and a half or so. All right, for the sake of keeping your attention and not wanting to turn anyone off of following my video progress and video series and everything, I think I'm going to cut this video here. I will continue to harvest the corn, cut it into chaff, and send it over to the BGA. So there will be, you know, I would estimate, let me kind of look and see where we are. We're maybe a quarter of the ways through. So probably, you know, hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes worth of work to finish this field. So you'll see that time progress, but I'm not going to make any major purchases. I'm not going to sell anything just yet. We talked in the first episode, there is some equipment that we're going to sell because we're going to use some mods. Actually, I found some nice John Deere mods and other things that I've used in the past. We're going to do some forestry. We're going to, obviously, I've been saying many times, we're going to put the soil mod in. That really makes these maps when they're soil mod ready. And so we'll do those things. So when I come back with episode 3, so this episode is obviously going to be short. It's going to be about 25 minutes or so. But when I come back with episode 3, then the chaff will have been, the corn will have been harvested into chaff. That will all be at the BGA. The bunkers will be compacted, and those will be fermented. Kind of see what the time of the day is and everything, and then start planning our third episode, which most likely will be harvesting the sugar beets on the field, and I believe those are in the south, over in the southeast corner. Field number 12 or 13, I believe, is planted in soybeans. So I will just make this turn here. Turn, and then we'll get going again, and then I will end the video. So Alright, well, I will see you next time. Thanks again for watching. Thanks to Giants for making such an awesome map, or awesome game. Thanks to Stevie for making such an awesome map and all of his support with mods. I've got some new mods from Stevie, by the way. Stevie put out a mod pack that is available on the PC-SG forums. I'll put a link in the show notes to that. You can also get that link in my mod list. It's at grizzlybearsims.com. Again, that's grizzlybearsims.com. Thank you for watching. I'm really enjoying putting these videos together, and I'm learning a lot along the way, so bear with me. You know, I know that there's a lot of other quality, much better YouTube personalities than I am, but I'm hopeful that, you know, I will be able to do something a little bit different, because I've got a smaller audience. I really want to take more time and showcase some mods and help answer questions about Courseplay, or about Farming Sim 15, or even about the future for 17. And obviously I'm in it for the long run, so I'm looking forward to, you know, playing 17 once it comes out. Hey, we're less than 30 days away. So take care and have a wonderful week, and I will see you with episode 3 very soon. Thank you again.